Got some birch bark. Welcome to the Fireplace channel. Craig will be the guy that comes in every now and then with a stick and turns it over. You just have to watch for it. He'll be, he'll move a log once in a while, very lovingly. And you can sit back and watch the channel until he comes back again. And I'm back, and tonight I'm spending the night alone in a remote cabin, off-grid, just an old wood stove, a Coleman lantern. I can show you my bunk in here. Ready to go. That's not a bad sleeping bag. It's a Teton Sports off of Amazon. It was about $80, and it's good to 0 degrees, so I've had no trouble with it. It's really good. Anyway, I got my bed all set up. Got the wood stove going. I got water on the boil. I just happen to have an open air outdoors cup here with me tonight. I got tea in here, and I've got water that I got out of the brook a little while ago. Got it boiling hot. I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea. And if you haven't checked out Open Air Outdoors on YouTube, go check out Mark's channel. Pretty good stuff. It just got dark. I brought a bit of wood in. There's snow on the ground outside. There's several inches of snow. So red potatoes, red pepper, mushroom, onion, and garlic, and 2 burgers. That's going to be my supper. Okay, so I got supper over with and cleaned up, and so I moved my chair over here next to the stove. It's quite cold out. I just went out and got a bunch more wood, and it's about -3 Celsius. So, or a little lower maybe, I don't know quite what it is, but I'm not sure if that thermometer out there is accurate, but I've been hugging the wood stove here. I'll give you a little tour of this place. There's a kitchen table. I brought my iPad. I have a couple of things downloaded on the iPad to watch, and I got some magazines to read and some newspapers, and there's a moose antlers. There's just basic stuff in here. There's a little cabinet there with some first aid supplies. I remember when they used to use these kerosene lamps here, and there's still a few laying around, but we don't use them anymore in here. Got a propane light. Got a little gas stove I bring with me. And there's the food I brought. And there's another little bedroom here. Kind of dark in there to see that. Old time stove, right? This is from the, I don't know, 1920s, right? Yeah, an old Brock stove. This has got a warming closet on this side. This is for, I don't have it full, but you'd put water in here, and this keeps water warm. And these warming ovens above here, this just, you know, keeps things nice and warm. I've got all my batteries and everything up in here, my filming stuff. It doesn't get hot in there, just nice and warm. Nothing that kills a battery quicker than cold temperatures. And I got my spot. That's a GPS messenger. Every now and then I just push OK, and friends back home know that I'm okay. There's also a couple of other options on there for getting help, or in an ultimate emergency, I could lift this button up and push an SOS, and it would bring emergency services to my GPS location. This is a third generation spot. You know, they're about 10 years old, and there's more modern satellite communicators now that you can actually text back and forth and stuff like that over your phone, but this is what I have, and this works fine. I just got it up there to keep it kind of warm as well, keep the battery warm. But I'm going to wind it down here pretty soon. I got wood brought in for the evening. Let's go out and take a look at that thermometer. Let's go out here and take a look. Let's see here. Very dark out here. So yeah, it's just below zero. Just below zero Celsius, so maybe minus 2. So what would that be? About 20, looks like 28 or something. 28 Fahrenheit. I got some more wood there, and I got lots of wood nearby if I need it right here. There. Anyway, I'm going to get ready for bed pretty soon. I just want to give you a tour of what's going on. It's so cozy here. I don't want to get up. Oh, I've been up a couple of times, you know, to go to the sandbox. I stoked the fire several times overnight because that little firebox on that wood stove's not very big, right? So it goes out pretty regularly. But, yeah. Here we are. Other than me rambling on, there's not a sound here other than the brook. You know, the sound of the brook. Yeah. All right. The fire going again. I gotta get out of the brook and get some water. Because that's it. Today's the day I gotta pack up and go back out to that, what do they call that place? Civilization? Yeah, I don't know. That's where I gotta go anyway. Oh! Isn't this just it? Oh. You sleep so well in a place like this. Okay. No, I can't get up. I gotta stay here. I'm staying in bed. No, I'm getting up. Okay. Okay. That's it. I'm up. See, we went through quite a bit of wood overnight. That's been out forever. Let's see what we're doing here. Yeah. It's going. Let's go see what it's looking like outdoors here this morning. See what the old thermometer says. What's that, about 28 Fahrenheit? Minus 3 or something. It is fresh. This box here is an old electrical box, and they had it here years ago to keep stuff cool at this time of year, or maybe in the fall, maybe not quite freezing, but you know, you could keep your milk, your eggs, whatever out here, and the squirrels couldn't get into it. A little ventilation in it there, see? Yeah. Look at this tree here that the beaver had at. It's about ready to go over. Meant to knock that down, actually. But the minute you knock it down, you got to deal with all the pieces, right? Hopefully it'll go over that way, but I got a big plate because I'm a spiller. No, I just didn't want to get on that tablecloth. There we are. It's about 8 o'clock. And I went outside and I cleaned up the wood box. There's a wood box right outside the door. It was all full of everything over the years. I dumped it out. Cleaned it out, just put wood in there and some kindling and organized a bit of stuff outside. Oh, it's a pretty simple exit from here. What I got to do is I just got to pack up my vehicle with the stuff that I brought, and then I warm up some water from the brook and scrub the floors. Yeah. We find that if we use pine sol in the water, quite a heavy dose of pine sol, and scrub the floors, that the mice don't like it, and it lingers for a long time, and they don't come back. They don't like the smell of pine sol. Earlier this year, I came in here and there was mice everywhere. I'd set traps. I caught 5 or 6. And I was in here one day and there was mice running everywhere. So I poured a bunch of pine sol around and mopped the floor with it. There wasn't another mouse, you know, on a regular basis. So that's what I do is I'll sweep the floor here and I'll put a whole whack of pine sol in some hot water and go around and do all the floors and pour a little straight pine sol right at the threshold of the door, you know, and any cracks where we think they might be coming in. And that's it. You come back, you know, a week or 2 or a month and there's no mice. They don't come in. They don't like the stink of that stuff. I've heard the same about using, put me on here. I've heard the same thing about fabric softener, you know, like those bounce sheets. If you put those in, you know, a car, like say you're going to store a car for a few months, you put bounce sheets in the glove box and under the mats and, you know, under the seats, and they don't come around that either, usually. And, but yeah, pine sol is the ticket, man, in a cabin. They don't like that smell. They just head for the hills when they smell that. And all the better. Like, I mean, I like little mice, you know, they're kind of cute and stuff, but it's me or them. I'm out sleeping with them, you know. Actually, speaking of which, several years ago, I slept in here in the late summer, and man, there was some pile of mice. I got in my bunk there and turned off the light, you know. I was going to bed there, and it wasn't long, and man, I felt something go across the sleeping bag. And then I felt something again, and I get up, and there was mice everywhere. There must have been 15 mice in here, and they were crossing the sleeping bag, and it's just a war at that point. You know, you got to get up and see what you can do, and you really don't feel like laying down if they're going to crawl on you, you know. And what, you know, usually reassures me is that I know there's lots of little cabins in the woods, and people go in and they sleep in them, and they don't seem to worry about the mice too much, but I don't like them crawling around me. I don't like them being around my food. You know, I don't like them being, yeah, I don't like that. So instead of, you know, bombing them or something, pine sol works. Anyway, I have to have some of this coffee, because if I don't get some coffee in me, I'm going to go over the moon. Yeah. This is the only thing that keeps me safe and sane. This is the only stuff that keeps me sane. I better get some in me quick. I better get quite a bit in me, eh? What do you think? Oh my, that's good. Oh. See, I'm completely sane now with the coffee in me. You gotta laugh, you know. I carry on a bit. Yes, I do. I do. And I joke around with most everybody I know, and pretty much everywhere I go, you know. Trying not to be annoying, but you gotta have a laugh, man. Don't go through life being a popcorn fart of dryness, and, you know, don't do that. Have a laugh. Do something funny. I have what you call a self-deprecating sense of humor. So I don't mind taking a doing something outrageous, so that people say, "Oh, well, what a stupid thing to do," because it's a funny, and they think it's funny, and I think it's funny, right? There's so many people so afraid to bring any attention on themselves to make something funny that they go through life being these, statues of. Let her go, baby. Have some fun. There's something I found the other day. I look on the internet a lot, and I found something on the internet the other day. It was just it's a parody, it's a joke, but it's a van, and it says it's the company name on the side of the van, and it says lazy bastards, lazy bastards, and their slogan is, "We come around your house and do fuck all." And reasonable rates or something. That cracks me up. I find that so funny. Oh my, it's so true too. I think I've hired those guys at one point or a couple of times maybe. You got to have a laugh. The bottom line is you got to have a laugh. In a day. If you go through a day and you haven't, hurt yourself laughing, you're not living right. You got to do something about that. Fix that. Do something outrageous. Yeah. See all the truth in this coffee here? One sip of coffee and I'm speaking, encyclopedias of truth. Wait till I have another sip and let's see what happens. Oh, it's making me smarter. Every sip is making me smarter. And it's just coffee. There's nothing else. It's just black coffee. Starbucks. Cafe Verona is what it is. It's I don't always drink Starbucks coffee, but that was what was on sale at the grocery store, and I bought it. And I enjoy good coffee, strong coffee, coffee that makes me smart. That's the kind I like to drink. Because boy, someone I think told me that one time. They said, "Craig, you need something to make you smart, whatever it is. Find it." I think it was coffee. One more sip here. I need some. I'm going to get smarter today. Oh, I've done some dumb things though, Oh my. That at the time seemed very smart, different things. Then you look back and think, oh man, you were dumb. Okay, here's a trick to keep the tops of these stoves looking good. When you get your fire burned down pretty much, and there isn't much, heat in it, it's just, it's pretty hot to touch there, but it gets cooler back this way. Use paraffin wax. You get a block of paraffin wax like that, and you melt it onto the stove like that. It'll smoke a bit. Just go like that. And take a rag, wipe it. Yes, it smokes, but that will keep the top of that stove looking like brand new. There you go. And there it is. That's how you keep these old stove tops looking good. Look at that. See, it puts a shine on it. That'll keep the mice away. Pine saw. You don't like it? Good lathering of that. It already smells quite piney in here. I put it on heavy, wipe it around. No need to rinse it, just leave it on. That's how it's done, baby. So the way we leave this cabin is we leave the curtains open a little bit, so if someone really wanted to see what's in here, they can look in the window. They'll have to kick the door down. And we leave the cupboards ajar like that, just to let them know, you know, there's not a pot of gold in there. You know, so, you know, the smart thieves will look at it and go, okay, there's nothing there. And that's the way. I mean, if you keep the curtains closed and lock all the cupboards up, someone looks in, they go, oh, there must be a bunch of valuables in there. So I don't know, this is a theory that we've been using for a number of years here. We found that if we kept the curtains closed and all the cupboards shut, and you know, if someone could peek in there, they'd say, oh, there's something in there I want. But if you let them take a look in, most people just want to see inside, see what's going on. It's kind of a curiosity. So we do keep a padlock on the door, so that's saying, you know, it's not for everyone's use. You know, it's an emergency cabin if you're in a spot and you have to use it. Yeah, sure. But it's not open. It's not open a field day. You know, it's not an open cabin. You just don't use it unless you have permission. And but we leave the curtains cracked open like that, and that just people can have a look and they can see, okay, yeah, that's what's in there. Because I mean, there's no real keeping somebody out of a remote cabin like this. I mean, if they want in, they're coming in. There's nobody to see them. But yeah, that's what we do. And this is a heavy coat of pine sol going down there. And we'll get that on all the floors. Get that in every room. And then that seems to keep the mice back. Don't like that stuff. The other thing we do is we stand the mattresses up on edge like that. We found that if you leave the mattresses down flat, the mice are more inclined to want to build a nest in them. So we put them up on edge and we haven't had any trouble that way. Yeah, mice are probably the biggest concern. There's been a few times over the years where, yeah, someone has kicked the door in. Most recently, about 6 years ago, someone kicked the door in here and took a bunch of stuff. But you just gotta limit what you leave in a place like this. You know, you take out your lanterns, you take out your tools. You just don't leave everything easy picking here. Those stainless steel kettles that I've got, I take those out with me. Yeah, you can't take everything, but it's sort of a. Eventually, you figure out what you can stand to lose if someone takes it, right? Don't put it down sparingly. I put it down heavy, and that little bit of soap on there, that dries. So that's okay. That's no problem. There it is. Now I gotta go in and check that stove after a bit once the floor dries. Put it to bed, but now since this scrub water's got all that pine sol in it, what I do is I dump it along the threshold of the door, like that, along here, and that'll discourage the mice that want to go in under the door. And there's another spot around here I put it. This is kind of around where the kitchen sink is. There's a drain there. I just splashed some in there. Yeah, there. That little kitchen sink it just drains out under here, so I just splash the rest of it down under there. And that has enough odor that keeps the mice away. I didn't see these little whiskey jacks the whole time I was here, and then look at this, as I'm leaving, they show up. Look at that. I'm so glad to see them. No trip in here is complete without a visit from these little guys. And that's a little piece of pancake I had left over from this morning, so that's ideal. It's a lot of good stuff in there for them. There you go, buddy. I'm glad to see you. Oh, there's a couple of them. Really cool.